All right. So, how many of you have been in classes so far where your teachers have talked about academic integrity? That's it. Okay. Well, it's usually involved in every single class because obviously you can't cheat or anything. So, we just kind of wanted to clear up anything about it that you might not know. So, what is academic integrity? Anyone? No? A guess? All right. I have down honesty, trust, fairness, respect, and responsibility. Not just for you, but for your teachers and your friends who write papers, and if you just kind of take their stuff. I mean, would you want to write a paper and then you'd be like, oh, I really like what you said, so I'm going to say I said it? No. Exactly. Because what if I win, like, a really big award, and you're like, what the heck? She didn't write that. So why is it important?
Because it makes you look like a good person.
Exactly. Makes you look like a good person. You respect other people's work. So some behaviors that can compromise academic integrity are plagiarism. What's plagiarism?
Taking someone else's work.
Exactly. Taking someone else's work, calling it your own. Collusion, I always forget, but I'm pretty sure it's working in pairs in an assignment that you're supposed to work on by yourself. So a lot of online classes, obviously your tests are going to be online. So you think, oh, I can meet up with my friend who's in the same online class. We can take the test together and not fail it. But that's cheating. So if your teacher finds out, you could be reported for academic integrity, and then you'll be screwed. You also can't cheat, like you can't copy your friend's work, and you can't let your friends copy your own work if they miss class or something. So violations are handled at the U of A. So you get to attend this really awesome, fun workshop with a student or with the dean of students. I've heard it's very exciting. It's probably not. I guess is it he or she?
It's a they.
Oh, they. Talk about everything that I'm talking about, but more detailed, and it's really boring, and you don't want to go, so don't cheat. Also, your instructor will sign a sanction or sanctions for your offense, which is whatever you do. It could be 1 sanction, it could be 5. It's pretty much whatever they want because there's no set rule at the U of A of what a teacher gets to do to you, I guess, if you violate academic integrity. So the instructor could decide to suspend you from class. I guess expel you from the school if they really wanted to. It could show up on your transcript, so every time you send out your transcript to get into grad school, they're going to see it, and they're going to know that you violated academic integrity. Or they could take away your degree. So that's cool. Spend $100,000 to come here, and then it gets all taken away. Your teacher, I didn't write this down, but your teacher could also just give you a failing grade for the class and then call it a day. So, I mean, it gets to the point where they could take away your whole degree, or you could just fail the class. So, I mean, it really just depends on, I guess, your teacher's mood that day. But I wouldn't suggest trying it. Yeah.
Cool. So how many of you guys have been stressed already? Okay, good. Most of you. That is normal. Okay, so there are 2 types of stress. There is the good stress, and then there is the bad stress. So the good stress is the kind that makes you feel excited, that triggers your flight or flight response, and basically the feeling you get on Christmas morning. But then the bad kind is really bad to the point where it's chronic and you can't concentrate on anything. You're always sick, you're always getting headaches, and I guess this is the feeling you get when you drive to the dentist. So there are a lot of ways to handle good stress. You guys need breaks every once in a while, and the perfect way to get that is through regular physical exercise. So take a walk, go on a bike ride, go to the rec, which I'm pretty sure most of you know what the rec is. Do cartwheels, basically anything to get you happy and moving and not cooped up in your room. But also be well relaxed and rested. So listen to music, spend time with your friends, go to the movies. And you guys should at least get a good amount of sleep, so 6 to 7 hours of sleep per night. Otherwise, you will not function and you will get stressed. And so this sounds lame, but you guys should probably set up a nightly ritual and like try to get in bed before midnight or 10, depending on if you're an early bird or late bird. Like it sounds lame, but you guys should stick to a schedule. And other ways to handle stress is to be organized. So I'm pretty sure all of you have a planner. Use it wisely. Like it will be your best friend for the next 4 years. And eat lots of brain food. So fruits, vegetables, dark chocolate, blueberries, tomatoes, and basically treat your body how you want to be treated. So treat it good with healthy food. And so the ways to handle bad stress are to use your campus resources wisely. So at Campus Health, there's the CAPS program, which is
Counseling and psych services.
and they're really helpful. And also, like if you don't want to go to CAPS or Campus Health or use those resources, talk to someone from your friends, family, to a teacher, but just somebody who can listen, or call the crisis hotline. And like Claire said, CAPS is counseling and psych services offered through Campus Health. And they provide psychiatric, psychological counseling, and they also provide counseling for like a wide range of issues from like anxiety, depression, to eating disorders, to family issues. But basically, if you have the bad kind of stress, use these resources before it escalates out of control and you can't handle it anymore. And that's basically it.
Also about Capsule, a lot of people don't want to go because it's like, oh my god, I've seen a psychiatrist, I'm probably crazy. But I went my freshman year. I already told you guys I had a really bad freshman year. And finally just got to the point where I just kind of wanted to leave school. So I decided to go to CAPS and not tell anyone because I was so embarrassed. The cool thing is, if your parents, like, I guess, pay all your bills when you go to school, on your bursar's account, it only shows up as a Campus Health fee. It doesn't say your child went to CAPS. So they don't know that you're going to get help for anything. So it's nice if you don't want to tell your parents that you're going to get help. But it's super chillaxed in there. You go into the waiting room and they have all these really weird games sitting there that you can play while you wait, and they're really stupid, but they grab my attention. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm sure you guys don't want to hear my whole life story, but I don't go anymore because I'm a lot better. But I think they helped a lot. I mean, my freshman year could have been a lot worse than it was, but I'm fine. So. I don't think that you have to drop out if it gets too bad. So, also another thing I wanted to say was, with bad stress, saying no to things is totally okay. Like Monday, I didn't come to this class because I had a very stressful weekend, and Monday morning I woke up and I realized how much I didn't do over the weekend because it was so stressful. So I emailed Kristen and told her I wasn't coming to class, and she said it's totally fine. So, you can say no to things. If your friends want to go partying Thursday, you can say no. It's okay. There's next Thursday. But yeah, so you can say no. It's totally fine. So we have this worksheet type thing on violations of academic integrity. It has a couple, questions, for example. And you have to say if they're true or false. True as in if they do violate academic integrity, false as if they don't. And then explain why. You can work in groups. I don't know if you're not like that. All right. So the first one says, Bree felt sorry for Tam, who had missed a class through illness, and allowed him to use her lab results for his assignment. Is that a violation of academic integrity?
Yeah.
Why? Wait, who said yes? Who said no? Okay, why do you say yes, whoever said yes?
Because he didn't actually do the lab, he took someone else's results.
Right.
Copying work plagiarism.
Exactly. So you can't copy someone's work if you miss a class. You have to go in and do the whole lab over. That's why you just don't miss a lab, because the labs suck. But yeah, so that one is a violation. Number 2 says Yoko asked for an extension on compassionate grounds that her grandfather had died when what she was really doing was taking a trip to the Great Barrier Reef. Yeah, is that an academic probation violation? Of course it is. Why? Exactly. She's lying about her poor grandfather. I wonder if he even knows. Number 3 says, in my paper I write, the Greeks knew that the earth was round long before Columbus set sail. I do not need to provide a citation for this passage because it is common knowledge. True or false that you need to provide a citation? It's actually true. Because, I mean, what's that?
Yes, in quotes.
But it's also something like if I say the earth is round, I could read about it, but do you all know the earth is round? Yeah. See, but like,
That's a true.
I didn't know the Greeks
It is,
knew.
yeah, and it is a question because if she's copying the words down exactly as it's written in that certain source, then yes, she would have to cite it because it's coming directly from that. But for the most part, common knowledge, like if you're writing in your book, like in the summer it's hot outside, that's common knowledge. People know that. You don't have to have a citation for things that are generally considered common knowledge. If you asked anybody on the street if they would know the answer, typically you don't have to cite that. Does that make sense? That's a tricky one.
So is it true or false?
It's true.
Both?
Yeah. It
You
just
could argue
depends.
both.
Really. So number 4 says Tom had done terribly at his last exam and panicked that he wouldn't cope in time for the next one. So he decided, oh my gosh, I'm a terrible reader, sorry guys. So he asked his brother to sit the exam for him. Is that a violation? Why?
That's not you.
Exactly, you guys are so smart. Number 5 says Jane found an excerpt in an article that would go well with the essay she is writing. She doesn't want to have to spend the time to cite the material, so she paraphrases the excerpt.
False. Because she paraphrased it. I would assume in her own words. So. Do you still decide it?
Why is this not making sense to me right now?
Yeah, so paraphrasing is still something that you need to cite. So a lot of times when you're writing, you know, if you're saying the exact words that somebody said, you put them in quotations. If you're paraphrasing, you don't have to put things in quotations, but you still have to give credit to somebody for having those ideas, even if you paraphrased those ideas. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right, number 6 says an incorrect citation is a type of academic integrity. True or false? You think false? This one is also kind of like it depends on the circumstance. For example, one of my classes, a lot of people have been citing our book 2015, but my teacher says we're not even in the year 2015 yet. How can you cite 2015? But the book is copyrighted for 2015, but you're supposed to put the publishing year. So a lot of people have been getting it wrong, but it's because they didn't know. So I mean, under those kind of circumstances, it's not really something to freak out about. But if, for example, you put the wrong author and you can't trace it back to the original source, then yes, it's a violation. See what I'm saying? Make sense? Okay. Number 7 says, if I take the advice of a peer editor or tutor, I am guilty of academic dishonesty. True or false?
You advise.
Right. So you're not like jotting down every single word they say in order in your brain and then writing it down when you get home. They're literally just saying, hey, you should maybe do this with your essay. So you can't really cite it, or, you're not being dishonest. They're just helping you. Number 8, the last one says, one of your classmates discovers a great website that he or she thinks would be useful for your research and emails you the URL. You use the website as a source in your paper, but do not cite the fact that your friend found it for you. This is an example of plagiarism. Why?
Because you didn't do the right website.
Exactly. Pretty easy. It's pretty much just don't cheat. It's as simple as this, I guess. Yeah.
It's hard to know in a lot of situations. It's hard to know, like, is this truly a violation of academic integrity? And most of the time, when students think that, if you're doing something and you're thinking to yourself, am I violating the code of academic integrity by doing this? Then probably, yeah, you are. If you're second guessing yourself and you're thinking, is this wrong? It probably is. So there is a listing. Okay, so let me capture the primary screen. So like they mentioned, all academic integrity violations are handled through the Dean of Students office. So they have a website, deanofstudents.arizona.edu. Okay, so if you go to students, there's a whole section dedicated to academic integrity. So there's a whole page that says, how do you avoid academic dishonesty? And these are things that you can review to make sure that you personally are not going to be violating the Code of Academic Integrity. And the Code of Academic Integrity is something that's part of the catalog, part of the rules and regulations of the U of A. So like we were talking about while we were doing the quiz, it's doing things like citing your resources, submitting your own work, not cheating off of other people during exams or during assignments, not sharing your assignments, not posting papers and stuff on websites to sell to students. It's pretty much just anything that is related to academic dishonesty. So you can verify on the Dean of Students website what actually constitutes as an academic integrity violation. So it gives you examples here. The thing to remember at U of A is that, like Hillary mentioned before, it's up to your instructor to determine what your sanction is. So no matter what you do, if an instructor reports you for an integrity violation, you have to go to the workshop, and it costs money, and you have to pay to go, and you have to take a day out of your life to attend their workshop. But in addition to the workshop, the instructor chooses a sanction for you. And there is no rule or schedule or anything that says if you fabricate, this is what your sanction is. There's no specific guidelines to what sanctions are assigned for what violation. It's completely up to the instructor. So in this class, if you cheat, I could say, you failed the assignment. That's my sanction for you. But in another class, if you cheat, they could say, your sanction is to be suspended, and you can't come back to the U of A for a semester. So it's completely dependent on the instructor what your sanction is. Now, there is an appeal process, so if you do cheat and your instructor says, I want to kick you out of the university, you can appeal that. There's a hearing board, and you have to pretty much go through Dean of Students court. But the university is always going to err on the instructor's decision, so for the most part, they're not going to step in and say, like, that's not a fair sanction for this offense, because the way that the policy is written, the instructor is the one that determines the sanction or sanctions. They could impose multiple sanctions on you. They could say that you're going to fail a class and you're also going to be disqualified from the university. And that's why academic integrity violations are so scary, because there isn't a set thing that says, this is the punishment if you do this, this is the punishment if you do this. You could make one violation, and it could be the one violation that gets you kicked out of school. And that's why academic integrity is a scary thing. For the most part, why do students make academic integrity violations? Why do you think? They're lazy. Why else might a student make a violation? To try and get good grades. Any other reasons?
Just like stress.
Stress.
I don't want
Yeah, there's a reason we put academic integrity and stress together. For the most part, students are committing academic integrity violations when they're feeling a lot of stress and a lot of pressure. Right? Like, oh my gosh, this week I have 5 assignments due and I have 2 exams. How am I going to get it all done? Not being able to manage your stress is an easy way to get wrapped up in an academic integrity violation, which is why we talk about stress management, because you should probably do almost anything to manage your stress other than be academically dishonest. Why are you here? Why are you out of university?
to get an education.
Do you want to learn? Yeah? Most people who are here want to learn. You're paying a lot of money to come here and learn. And when you're not learning, it kind of defeats the purpose of the whole system. You're doing yourself a disservice if you aren't doing your own work, if you're not the one actually learning the material, because you're going to be the one to pay for it down the road. Even if you never get caught and you never get a sanction made against you, when you're out in the workforce and you need the knowledge, you're not going to have it. So it's better to kind of come to terms with your own time management, come to terms with whether or not this is the right semester to take a certain class, and I would say be honest with yourself about your academic situation. If you need to take a class because you just don't understand the material and you're failing your exams, then be honest with yourself and don't take the easy way out, because the easy way out right now isn't necessarily going to lead to the best results in the future. So this is serious, it's serious stuff, and different instructors are going to have different styles of enforcing academic integrity or how they take care of academic integrity violations. So the message should be, don't. Just don't. Okay? And if you have additional questions, like if you're writing a paper and you don't know if you should cite something, there's a lot of resources on campus to help you. The think tank has a writing center, and at the writing center they can proofread your paper and make sure that you're not having any academic integrity violations. So there's a lot of different venues on campus through which you can get assistance to make sure that you aren't violating the code of academic integrity at all. Are there questions about this? Is this a fair system? What do you think? Somewhat fair? I know, students are usually pretty shocked to hear that the instructor can determine the sanction. There's really no guidance or guidelines about what sanctions that they can give. Is that something that surprised you? Yeah. Do you think it's fair?
Well, somewhat. I mean, if it's the class that you have the academic integrity issue with, then I think, yeah, but again, it's like,